After an exhaustive 4-month search, the Sideshow She-Hulk has finally entered the secret sanctuary. Did you have to rip the door off though? Not cool. Hey guys, welcome back to the Sanctuary. So it was early 2019 when Sideshow revealed this piece and put it up for pre-order. I liked it right away. I liked the sculpt. I liked a lot about it, but it was 1/5 scale. And like a lot of people, they were frustrated. I was frustrated. Why didn't they do this in quarter scale? So I did not pre-order. And it's one of those things that nags at you year after year. Really nice piece, wrong scale. At the time I was collecting quarter scale and some 1/6 scale tweeter head, but I wasn't collecting 1/5, I wasn't collecting 1/3. I was trying to be strict about my scales. And then last year, if you might remember, I kind of went through this change in my collecting where I thought, screw it, I'm going to order whatever I want. Doesn't matter if the theme is right, if the scale is right, blah, blah, blah. And that's when I picked up Red Sonja, Queen of Scavengers, and the Rebel Terminator, pieces that I always wanted, but always held back on because they weren't superhero or for whatever reason. So 4 months ago, I said, She-Hulk, I'm going for it. What the heck? And I jumped on eBay. There weren't any on eBay at that time, but I looked at past sales, and just the prior month, 2 had sold. One for $400 and one for $740, and those were both exclusives. So I thought, maybe $500-600 is the right price. But none popped up. I posted on statue forums saying, hey guys, I'm looking for this piece. I posted in my Facebook group. I posted in other Facebook buy-sell trade groups. Need to find the exclusive, blah, blah, blah. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Finally, last week, and by the way, a lot of collectors knew of my plight and were looking for me. So thanks guys for helping me out. I really do appreciate it. But anyway, last week, one appeared on eBay. And it was the exclusive, and it had never been displayed, only open to make sure everything was cool. And the guy was asking kind of a lot for it. So I messaged him on Facebook, and almost simultaneously to him messaging him on Facebook, he messaged me on statue forum and said, hey, I've got a She-Hulk. I just put it up on eBay. I'm not quite sure how to price it. Let me know if you're interested. And we were able to work out a deal. Turned out he was just an hour away from me. And I got it just the other day. So let's take a close look. All right, so again, she's 1/5 scale, 17.5 inches tall. This is the exclusive portrait. I like both portraits, but I much prefer this one. And that's why I really wanted the exclusive. This is a scene ripped from the comics. The scene is She-Hulk running down some stairs. I can't remember if she's at a courthouse or what, yelling for a taxi, and then when it pulls up, she literally rips the door off of the taxi. Straight from the comics, just how I like it. I love the shade of green. There are a lot of She-Hulk statues. A lot of them are custom. So you see a lot of variations in shade of green. This is the one I like. I think it's perfect. Some of them are downright fluorescent and that doesn't look right. Some of them are just too dark. This one just is on point. It's perfect. So on the door of the taxi, you've got the Jennifer Walters advertisement, which is super fun. 1-800-CALL-JEN. Green with anger. That's awesome. This door, when I saw the photos, I thought, this must be like a really light PVC, the way she's holding it. It actually has some weight to it. It's quite substantial. It's fun how the window's slightly up. And it's weathered, as it would be inside a taxi. So the story is that she's ripped this door off, and in doing so, she damages this fire hydrant, making the water come out of it. Very cool, very clever. Now, you're not going to believe this, but after looking for this for 4 months, finally getting it, I managed to drop the pizza rat. Oh, where is he? Oh, here he is. So the pizza rat is slightly magnetized. It's not a real strong magnet, so it goes with the paws on top. Let me get this right. Like that. So I screwed up. I tried to move the piece without first removing Pizza Rat and chipped off part of his ear and chipped off one foot. So my buddy Eric is going to fix that for me. It's not a huge deal because from the best viewing angle, you can't even see Pizza Rat. So it's not a tragedy. It's not like I busted her portrait or something, but it is a little disappointing after such a long search to have done such a dumb move and broken Pizza Rat. So people are divided about Pizza Rat, whether she belongs on this base. Some people think it's silly. To me, it's just them trying to elicit a typical New York scene from She-Hulk, from the comic. And so you've got this fire hydrant, you've got this taxi door, and you've got Pizza Rat dragging this rather attractive slice of pepperoni across the base, dripping off the side. Kind of reminds me of a Salvador Dali painting, the way it's dripping there. And Pizza Rat, even though he's got his slice, is distracted by She-Hulk. So he's looking at her, not at the slice. So anyway, I will get Pizza Rat fixed. He will be perfect. But I'm not terribly distraught because, as I said, you can't really see him. The water effect is surprisingly good. It looks very real. Into a puddle down there, the way it splashes onto the base. And you can see the puddle kind of coming across the base. So what it comes down to is, do you want a super strong, totally hulked out She-Hulk with a serious tones in the comics? Or do you want kind of the whimsical nature that she's often presented as, even in the TV show, but especially in the early comics? And that was my focus, was her early comics, the John Byrne stuff, that sort of stuff. So I really like that. A lot of She-Hulk statues are also kind of over-sexualized. I have no problem with statues that are very seductive. But for this particular character, I much prefer the kind of whimsical nature that this statue offers. Totally love the portrait. She exudes confidence. Totally love the sculpt. She is really cut without being too bulked out. I've seen some pieces where She-Hulk looks way too hulked out and is not even attractive. But everything about this, from the musculature to the beautiful portrait and just awesome sculpt. Just love the sculpt. Love the costume. Some people don't like the shoes. I do. You know, she's an 80s, 90s character. Those shoes, you know, are straight out of the comic to begin with. And I think they look really fun. They match her costume, her leotard. You got kind of a matte white in the middle of that leotard, and then a metallic purple, which matches both her gloves and the shoes. Looks great. Rear view, super sculpt on the hair, tons of detail. I also like the shade of green on the hair. It's a good contrast with the green of the skin. Looks really, really, really good. Sculpt on the backside is great. Nothing to complain about. Look at those calf muscles. Really, really good. All right, let's take a look at her with the regular portrait. So the regular portrait is a more modern look. She doesn't have the big 80s, 90s hair The face sculpt, I think, is the same. I think they use the same sculpt. So it's just the hair that's different. It's done really nice. I can see why people would display this option. I just prefer the big hair because that's how I remember her. Big and curly. But this is very, very nice. It looks good. Show you a view of the whole statue with that portrait. It's a really good option, no doubt about it. Here's a quick shot of her with her cousin. Obviously a difference in scale here. Hulk is the 1/3 scale from Legendary Beast, and it's 42 inches tall, while She-Hulk, of course, is from Sideshow at 17.5 inches tall. So, but in some scenarios, this might be accurate. Some artists, represent Hulk as being much larger than a normal human. So, but still, it's fun to see them together, cousins. Let's take a quick look at the art box. I forgot to mention earlier, this statue is part of the Adi Granov series of statues for Sideshow. I think he's done 3. This one, an Iron Man, and then Sova, which is a character of his own creation. That one I think is still available at Sideshow. There wasn't any comic or movie or tie-in to familiarize collectors with that character. So even though it's a really, really cool piece, I encourage you to take a look at it. I don't think it is sold as well because people just didn't know the character. Really nice art box. It's got a good image of the collector's edition on the front. She-Hulk, Sideshow, Adi Granov signature down here. Then we've got this busted wall. And we see that she's busted through the wall here. She-Hulk, Sideshow, Marvel. And then on the top again, Adi Granov. And I got number 187 out of 500. They did 500 exclusives and 1,000 regulars of this piece. So I'm really glad I put away with my quarter scale thing and decided to go ahead and order this 1/5 scale piece. She totally lives up to the images I looked at for years, literally years. Super happy that I got her. I might just display her with her cousin, or I might find another spot for her, I'm not sure. But she falls into that category of Rebel Terminator and Red Sonja, pieces that I did initially buy, but now can't imagine parting with because I really liked them. I mulled over them for years and finally decided, screw it, I need to have this piece. And now she's a permanent part of my collection. So I encourage you to look for it. Again, 500 X's and 1,000 regulars. Might be tough to find, might not. Sometimes one collector, in this case me, might generate some excitement over a piece. Nothing special about me. It can happen with anybody, but if one person's looking for a piece long enough, it kind of gets into the collector's atmosphere that this is a hot piece for some reason if it can't be found. So hopefully that doesn't last very long. We'll see some pop up on eBay and become available. It's a really cool piece. I like everything about it, and I will get Pizza Rat fixed, no doubt about it. So I encourage you to pick one up if you haven't already. That's it, guys. I'll be back really soon. I just got the Prime 1/3 scale Zatanna from Big Bad Toy Store. They have her at 15% off. So I'm going to be reviewing that in the next couple of days. Have a great weekend, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you on Statue Forum. I'll see you on Facebook and at a convention near you. Monsterpalooza is coming up.